Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Nar from the Nar Report. Back today with another episode. This is episode 35 of the Nar Report. And I just want to say is I appreciate all the love and support that I'm getting on all of my social media platforms here on the YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And speaking of those social media platforms, make sure you sub to the YouTube, click that bell to make sure y'all get all the notifications on when I go live. Follow the Instagram and TikTok at D_NAR_report. I'll put it right here for a second so y'all can know it and follow. All right. And in today's episode, I know I did this yesterday, but I had to redo this episode because my mic wasn't on. So, and y'all didn't get to hear me the whole show. So that's why this is just a makeup. So I appreciate everybody that joins. And this is the TikTok and Instagram user right here. D_NAR_report. And in today's episode, I'll recap the NBA Conference Finals. You got the Oklahoma City Thunder knocking off the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games. You got the Indiana Pacers knocking off the New York Knicks in 6 games. So I'm going to do a recap of the Conference Finals, talk about what I like, what I didn't like, what this team should have done better, all the breakdowns, and give y'all an NBA Finals recap between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. They'll tip off Thursday night at 8:30 in Oklahoma City. And that's it. All right, let's get into the show, baby. Starting off with the NBA Conference Finals recap. You got the Oklahoma City Thunder knocking off the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games. OKC wins game 1, 114-88. They win game 2, 118-103. Win game 3. They lose game 3. Minnesota wins game 3, 143-101. OKC comes back and wins game 4, 128-126. And then OKC advances and closes out the Minnesota Timberwolves, 124-94. Let's talk about the whole series in general. I picked the Minnesota Timberwolves to win, but when I looked at the whole series when I was watching the games, OKC was too much for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They were just too much for them. They couldn't hang in with them. They played great defense. They play at a fast pace, younger team, and they just outplayed Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Shea outplayed Anthony Edwards the whole series. I had the series going to 6 or 7 games, but OKC dominated and won in 5. And I am proud of the Oklahoma City Thunder for winning because they're a young team. They're the best team in the league, best team in the Western Conference. And I love Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He is my top 3 favorite NBA player, and he deserves an NBA championship. All right. But on the OKC side, they had a great series. They were consistent on both sides of the ball, consistent on offense, consistent on defense. Shea was consistent. Jalen Williams was consistent. Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso is a huge difference maker for this Oklahoma City Thunder team, and he made them better. Yes, Alex Caruso made the Oklahoma City Thunder better. And OKC got a good bench too. Overall, OKC was the better team. You know, they were the younger team, better players, better coach. So OKC did what they had to do, was to knock out the Minnesota Timberwolves in 5 games and advance to the NBA Finals. Now let's go to Minnesota perspective. What went wrong for the Minnesota Timberwolves? Well, first of all, Anthony Edwards did not have a great series. Game 1, he had 18. Yes, he got hurt, but still. I feel like if he didn't get hurt in game 1, he would have had at least like 25. Game 2, he bounces back and drops 32 points. Game 3, when they won, he drops 30. He dropped 16 in game 4 and then 19 in game 5. So overall, Anthony Edwards struggled throughout the whole series, okay? Second of all, Julius Randle was inconsistent, okay? He didn't have a good series. Game 1, he had 24. Game 2, he had 6. 24 in game 3. 5 in game 4, when it mattered the most. And he dropped like 24 in game 5. So Minnesota, this wasn't their series. Offensively, they wasn't there. OKC's defense was too much for the Minnesota Timberwolves offense. Rudy Gobert, he wasn't good all series. Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein was clamping those boys up. They were clamping them up, man. OKC has a strong defense, and their perimeter defense is special. All right, so I love what I seen from Oklahoma City. They were putting a lot of pressure on the Minnesota Timberwolves, as they should. They were applying pressure on Anthony Edwards, and that's what they did. And that's why Anthony Edwards struggled, because he had a lot of defense. Lou Dort, Caruso, they were too much for Anthony Edwards. All right. So Minnesota, they just did not have a great series. It wasn't their series. I thought Minnesota was going to win this series because they was in the conference finals last year and lost to the Mavericks in 5. And now they went back to the conference finals and lost to OKC in 5. So I thought Minnesota was going to take that advantage and get over that hump and go to the NBA finals. But overall, OKC deserves it. All right. And that's it for the West. OKC knocks off Minnesota in 5 games. Now Oklahoma City Thunder are the Western Conference champions. Congratulations, you're going to the NBA Finals. Now we go over to the East side. You got the Indiana Pacers knocking off the New York Knicks in 6 games. Overall, this was a good series. Best series throughout the whole conference finals. Back and forth going on. Every game went down to the wire. Let's talk about it. Game 1, New York had the game 1. They was up like 17 points with 3 minutes left, but all of a sudden, Aaron Nesmith Curry knocks down 6 threes back to back. Every possession, every time that they got to stop, they go to Aaron Nesmith, shoots a 3, bang. He was hooping. He dropped 30 points in game 1. And then Tyrese Halliburton had a great series as well, too. I feel like he should have won the conference finals MVP, but Siakam won it. And I'm not mad about it, too. Pascal Siakam played a huge role for the Indiana Pacers in these conference finals. All right, let's go over it. Pacers win game 1, 138 to 135. Pacers win game 2, 114 to 109. After those first 2 games, that's when the series was over. All right, I really thought, in my opinion, Indiana was going to sweep New York. But New York wins game 3, 106 to 100. Indiana bounces back game 4, 130 to 121. Tyrese Halliburton with the triple-double. Yes, Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese, what the hell he burden? Triple-double game 4. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists. That dude went off. He went off. That dude went crazy. And I'm surprised he didn't win Conference Finals MVP. After that Game 4 performance by Tyrese Halliburton, I said, oh, yeah, he's definitely winning Conference Finals MVP. But no disrespect to Pascal Siakam. He is a great player. He is an all-star. He brings that championship experience to the Indiana Pacers because he is a champion from the Toronto Raptors. So I'm proud of Pascal Siakam. Game 5, New York wins 111 to 94, and then Indiana wins Game 6, closes out the New York Knicks 125 to 108. Let's talk about what I love from this series on the Pacers side of the ball. The Pacers, I love their team. I love Rick Carlisle. I love the coach, the players. Indiana was just a better team, okay? New York, I feel like they could have won this series, and this could have went to 7. But the Knicks just beat themselves. They beat themselves. All right, they beat themselves. They should have won game 1. That's when they really beat themselves. After game 1, they was really in some trouble because you don't go up by 17 points with like 3 minutes left, and then Indiana comes back and sends the game to overtime and beat y'all in overtime. Like, come on now. But overall, though, Tyrese Halliburton had a great series. Andrew Nembhard, Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam, Aaron Nesmith. The Pacers got a good squad. I like their starting lineup. Halliburton, Nembhard, Nesmith. Andrew Nembhard can play defense. All right, he's a god on defense. Pascal Siakam was hooping. Miles Turner was hooping. They got a good bench. TJ McCollum, Obi Toppin, Ben Mathurin. So the Pacers did what they were supposed to do all series long. Rick Carlisle, good head coach. He outcoached Tom Thibodeau. And speaking of Tom Thibodeau, I would like to put this out real quick. Tom Thibodeau has been fired by the New York Knicks earlier today. Now, I'm not surprised. We all seen this coming. I heard that people saying the Knicks are going to fire Tom Thibodeau, and today was the day Tom Thibodeau has been fired by the New York Knicks. I was shocked because he led the team to the conference finals. But back to the series, though, Indiana, they were just a better team, play at a faster pace, better defense, better offensively. Tyrese Halliburton, I believe he was better than Jalen Brunson. Yes, even though Brunson was better, he was good. But I feel like Tyrese Halliburton outplayed Jalen Brunson throughout the whole series. So that's what I love from the Pacers side. They was consistent whole series offensively and defensively. Rick Carlisle was doing a great job at coaching, and the Pacers did what they had to do. For the Knicks, this is what went wrong for the Knicks. They beat themselves after the first two games, because how you lose game one? And they could have won game two. So that's what went wrong for the New York Knicks. After they went down 2-0 heading to Indiana, I said, oh yeah, them boys are really in trouble. Because I didn't really see them going to Indiana winning two in a row, because the Pacers are a good home team. And they show you that they can play good on the road. And that's going to play a huge factor for the Pacers in the NBA Finals. So the Pacers, they're very great on the road. They went to New York and stood on business, won in overtime in game one, and then in game two, they won by 5 points. Game three, New York wins 106-100. New York, they were better that game. Offensively, defensively, Brunson had a great game. OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns. New York came ready to play game three because they know if they go down 3-0, it's over. In the game three, we had another comeback. Indiana was up by 20, and then New York came back and won. It's crazy because I posted it on my story at halftime when the Knicks were down 20. I posted it on my story. Knicks are getting swept with the laughing emojis, but then all of a sudden, the Knicks came back and won the game. Unbelievable, man. I'm glad they came back and won the game, because if they would have lost, they might as well forfeit the rest of the series. But otherwise, though, I'm glad the Knicks got the job done in game three to extend the series a little bit to 5 games. Game four, Indiana had a bounce back game. I knew the Pacers were going to bounce back after that game three loss at home. So they got the job done. Siakam had a great game. Halliburton had a great game. Pacers came ready to play. And then in game 5 in New York, Knicks got that game. After the first 4 games, game 5, I was hoping for the Pacers to close them out at the Garden. But I was like, you know what? Let New York get game 5, okay? Let the Knicks get game 5, because it's funny, because I'm going to say this right now. As y'all know, I do not like the Knicks, okay? I don't like their fans. They annoy me, okay? The New York Knicks to me are like the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA. So I just want Knicks fans to, get a little happy. They got their first home win of the conference finals. Going crazy outside New York, Madison Square Garden, jumping up and down, talking about Knicks and 7, Knicks and 7. After New York won that game, here come the fans. Knicks and 7, Knicks and 7. I was just watching like, no, y'all done. Y'all are done. Once I knew that the Knicks fans said Knicks and 7, I said, oh yeah, Indiana about to turn up. And that's what they did. They turned up in game 6 and ran them out of Indy. And then Indiana wins game 6, 125-108. I'm going to break down the stats real quick. Starting off with the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton, 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 13 assists. Andrew Nembhard, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists. Miles Turner, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 0 assists. Pascal Siakam, Conference Finals MVP, 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Aaron Nesmith, 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Ben Mathurin, 4 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists. Obi Toppin, 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 0 assists. Thomas Bryant, 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 0 assists. Thomas Bryant played a huge factor for the Indiana Pacers, coming into the game, knocking down 2 threes back to back. I didn't know Thomas Bryant could shoot threes like that, but man, That boy was hooping. TJ McCollum 3 points and Ben Shepherd 0 points. Now let's go over to the Knicks side. OG Anunoby 24 points. Karl Anthony Towns 22. Mitchell Robinson 8. Mikal Bridges 15. Brunson had 19. Miles Bridges had 2. Josh Hart had 4. Dylan Wright had 2. Landry Shamet had 12. Knicks, what was that? I was expecting the New York Knicks to come out with some intensity, but they did show it in the first half. But then in the second half, it was all Pacers. And another reason why the Knicks lost this series, Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby were the only ones hooping. They didn't have any help. They just didn't have any help. So that's what also went wrong for the New York Knicks. Brunson was hooping, Cat was hooping, and OG Anunoby was hooping. So the New York Knicks were playing much of by themselves basketball. The Pacers were playing like a team. New York was just like, it was everybody for themselves. Similar to like what OKC beat Minnesota. OKC played like a team, and Minnesota was playing like basketball by themselves, their individual basketball. So Indiana, they play like a team. They were the better team. They outplayed the Knicks. Tom Thibodeau got outcoached. And I'm happy. I picked the Pacers to win in 6, and they won in 6. Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers. They are going to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2000. They are the Eastern Conference champions. And before I go into the NBA Finals preview, I'm going to break down the other stats from Game 5 from OKC and Minnesota. For Minnesota, Jaden McDaniels, 5 points. Randall had 24. Rudy Gobert, 2. Anthony Edwards, 19. Mike Conley, 0. Dante DiVincenzo, 6. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 0. Naz Reid, 11. Terrence Shannon, 11. And that was it. I was expecting Minnesota to come ready to play, but it was like the game was over by the first quarter. It was 26-9 at the end of the first quarter after Cason Wallace hit that shot at the end of the first quarter. Buzzer beater, if you know what I'm talking about. He had a buzzer beater 3 at the end of the first quarter. I feel like ever since he made that 3, all the momentum shifted to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So Minnesota, they did not have a great game. It wasn't their series. The bench wasn't too good offensively. The starters didn't have a great game. Anthony Edwards struggled all series. OKC, Jalen Williams, 19. Chet Holmgren, 22. Isaiah Hartenstein, 8. Lou Dort, 12. SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 34. Alex Caruso had 8. Cason Wallace, 5. Aaron Wiggins, 0. Williams, 0. Isaiah Joe, 11. And that's about it. OKC, they did what they're supposed to do. They came into Game 5 with that mentality. Hey, we about to close this baby out tonight. They were at home in front of the fans. OKC throughout the whole playoffs, they only lost 1 game. Okay, I knew something like this was going to happen because OKC's crowd during the playoffs is like a college basketball March Madness type of environment in there because those fans are unbelievable there. I love the fan base. They support their team very, very hard. And they are in the NBA Finals. They about to turn up in OKC. I'm telling you right now, the first 2 games, it's about to be crazy inside that arena. All right, and now we go to the NBA Finals preview. The NBA Finals start off Thursday night at 8:30. We got the Indiana Pacers, the Eastern Conference champions, versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Western Conference champions. Let's talk about it. Here is my preview. Well, first of all, I think this is going to be a great series. Okay, this is going to be a great series. Back and forth going on. There's going to be no sweep. Let's go ahead and start off by saying this. There will be no sweep. There will be no gentleman's sweep. And mark my words right now. This year's NBA Finals will be the best finals we had in a while. Yes, I said it. This year's NBA Finals will be the best NBA Finals we had in a while. And here's why. You got 2 young teams, 2 young superstars, and Tyrese Halliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looking for their first ring. OKC, they never won a ring. Okay, Indiana, they never won a ring. So both teams won it. So we're going to see a lot of competitiveness out on the court, a lot of hustling, people trying to go after the ball and stuff like that. So I'm ready. Sign me up, baby. And this series will go to 7. I can see this going to 7. I got the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the NBA Finals in 7 games. Yes, I think this Finals is going to be similar to OKC in Denver, but way better. It's going to be competitive. Every game will go down to the wire. We're going to see these boys going at each other's throats. I think it's going to be a shootout. Okay, I think it's going to be a shootout. We might have one blowout, but otherwise, though, it's going to be competitive throughout the whole series. Okay, and I think the first 2 games, they'll split. Okay, they'll split the first 2 games. If Indiana gets one in OKC, which here's a point, the Indiana Pacers proved that they can play on the road. In OKC, they proved that they can play on the road. So it can go either way the first 2 games. Indiana could win game 1 and OKC could win game 2. But otherwise, though, this is going to be a great finals, though. 2 head coaches, Rick Carlisle, but I don't know the other coach from OKC. He's a good head coach too. And both teams play well at home and on the road. So, yeah, this is why I have this series going to 7 games. And here's the thing. When we heard that the finals were set between OKC and Indiana, we got people saying, oh, nobody ain't watching this. Nobody want to see OKC and Indiana. Hey, I'm a basketball fan. I am excited for this NBA Finals matchup between the Pacers and the Thunder. Okay, they're going to battle it out. They're going to dominate on both sides of the ball, both teams. They're going to go back and forth, bucket after bucket. Both teams play very good on defense and offense, and they're both consistent with their game too. So this is why this series can go either way. I got OKC in 7, but if Indiana wins, I won't be mad at it too because I rock with Indiana. I rock with Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam. If the Pacers win, that means Halliburton will get his first and Siakam will get his second because Tyrese Halliburton has a champion. I mean, not Tyrese Halliburton, but Pascal Siakam has a championship back in 2019 with the Toronto Raptors. So it'll be good for Pascal Siakam. And none of these teams have experience. Well, player-wise, Caruso from OKC has experience and Siakam from the Pacers. I mean, Caruso from OKC has experience and Siakam from Indiana has experience. So they're going to help their young guys get into these NBA finals, get into that mindset. Indiana, they're probably on the way to OKC right now, getting ready for Thursday night. I'm telling you, I am ready. Sign me up. If we go to 7 games, if this goes to a game 7, sign me up. I'm already signed up. Okay? I'm already locked in. I am excited. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for game 1. Okay? And one thing I love about this finals, both teams shoot the ball very well. They got shooters, they got playmakers, they got defenders. So it's going to be a lot of competitiveness out on the court, back and forth going on. We're going to see shot after shot after shot. But this is going to be a shootout. Okay, this is going to be a shootout. We might have one blowout, but otherwise, the rest of the games are going to be competitive. Indiana, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. I think the Pacers can beat the Thunder. Okay, and another thing, these 2 teams, I think they match up well with each other, but OKC's defense is dominant. They got a dominant defense, but the Pacers play good defense as well too. But here are my keys to the game. For the Pacers, you got to figure out how to slow down SGA, and for the Thunder, you got to learn how to slow down the Pacers' pace because the Indiana Pacers play at a fast pace. So those are my little quick keys to the game. And I feel like SGA is going to go off. He might drop 50. I think SGA is going to drop a 50 ball in one of these games. Tyrese Halliburton might drop a triple-double. He might drop 40, 10, and 15. Shea might drop a triple-double. Who knows? I just feel like Tyrese Halliburton and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander are going to go off. And that's it for the NBA Finals preview. Let's congratulate the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers for going to the NBA Finals. This is about to be a good one, baby. I'm all in for it. I'm already signed up. Let's go ahead and get it started Thursday night. And that's it for today's episode of the No Report. I appreciate everybody that joined. I appreciate all the love and support. Make sure you sub to the YouTube if you're new to the YouTube. And if you like my content, Click that bell to make sure y'all get all the notifications on when I go live and when I post stuff. Make sure you sub to the YouTube. All right. Click that bell to make sure y'all get all the notifications on when I go live. That's an important thing. And make sure to follow me on my social media platforms at _Nard_report on Instagram and TikTok. This is my Instagram and TikTok right here, _Nard_report. And that's it. Have a good rest of your day. Nard out. And another thing, I will go live after game 1 of the NBA Finals on TikTok. And on YouTube, I'll be live on Friday. So I'm going to try to go live on Friday, but I'll let y'all know. All right? Nard out. Have a good one.